So here's our original implementation of the app text component. I removed the platform-specific implementations because we don't really need them in this project. Now, one thing you might not like in this implementation is the fact that we're mixing some structure and styles in the same file. So let me show you a technique for organizing our styles. Here in our project, we want to promote this file to a folder. So inside the components folder, let's add a new folder called app text. Now, we move this file inside this folder. Now in this folder, we can have a new file called styles.js. This is where we're going to write all the styles for this component. So let's go to apptext.js and cut all these styles and then paste them over here. Because we're using the style sheet module, we need to import it on the top. So we type imrn, that is import from React Native. And here we type style sheet. Good. Now finally, we export this styles object as a default object. So export default styles. Okay. Now we go to our app text component. On the top, we're going to import styles from the current folder. With this implementation, we don't need style sheet and platform here. Also, we should import platform in styles.js because we're referencing it here. So let's import platform. Now let's go to app.js. And in our container, let's add app text and say, I love React Native. Let's test our implementation. So we don't see anything here in the iOS simulator. Let me reload. Okay, it's working. So with this technique, we can separate our styles. However, look at this import statement in app.js. So we're importing app text from app/components/apptext/apptext. This duplication looks really ugly. To solve this problem, we have to add an index.js file in this folder and export app text component. Let me show you. So in this folder, app text, let's add a new file called index.js. In this file, first we're going to import the app text component. And then we're going to export it as a default object. With this, we can go to app.js and simply reference the folder. Because we have an index.js in that folder, and index.js exports our app text component, we can import it like this. Now, I personally do not like this approach because we have to do some extra work without much gain. So for every component, first we have to create a folder, then we have to add index.js, we have to create styles in a separate file. And that also means if you want to reference another component we have built in app text component, we have to type code like this, import from. We have to go one level up so we can go to the other component and import it. So these are the reasons that I personally do not like this approach. But if you like it, that's perfectly fine. I personally prefer to implement my component in a self-contained file. So you pick the approach that you prefer, but whatever you pick, make sure to stick with it. So do not use different approaches in different parts of your project.